Jumping forward a few years, 3 years, it was December 2008. I had finally gotten a fabulous neurosurgeon who could actually read my MRIs correctly. We've been checking every couple of times a year, and he was able to see that we'd have to have another surgery around Christmas time of 2008. So it was planned. It was the first surgery that was ever planned, and that was it was a little stressful in the fact that I knew what was going to be happening afterwards. And if you just show up in surgery and you don't have to think about it and like mull over it in your mind, analyze everything. But if it's your third one as well, you know what you've had to go through the first and the second time. All the things you've had to relearn. Like in the first surgery, I had to relearn Spanish. So knowing that I had lost things in the past, I all the stress of it and everything, and the pain and all those kind of things, I sort of felt like I could understand like a tiny, tiny, tiny amount of what Jesus Christ went through, because he knew what he was going to have to go through. I don't think he understood completely the magnitude of it, but he knew it was not going to be fun. It was going to be very painful. He knew that. And he knew that he had to die for us. He had to be sacrificed for us. So I went in for surgery December 2008, and it was, I could say, one of my best Christmases ever. Most memorable, maybe not necessarily best, but most memorable because I was surrounded by people who loved me. Surrounded by people who I knew, family, friends, but at the same time people who I didn't know. Completely surrounded by people who loved me, and that's what Christmas is all about. Love, Christ's love, and people were sharing it with my whole entire family in drastic amounts, like huge amounts. And so I felt grateful that I was able to experience so much love, even if I had to have Christmas inside the hospital. And it was okay, you know, we had a good time. I get home to my house around the 31st or 29th of December, and 2 weeks after that, we had a fire in our home. There was a fire that had started from the light bulb that's underneath the stairway. It ended up getting into the walls, actually. The fire department said if we would have waited 5 more minutes, our house would have been gone, and so would have we. When the fire department came, David was driving home. They're far, far away from him, like in the distance. And then he keeps driving home, And finally he turns onto our street, and it turns onto our street, and he's like, well, I'm just gonna pull over at my house, you know, so he didn't pull over. And he pulls up, and they pull up behind him and trap him in. And then he got scared. What is going on? But anyway, they had to come in, and they pulled me out of, and I was like putting my head on his shoulders, and I was like really out of it because I was really drugged up in many ways. From the medication, from the operation, and from the carbon monoxide. And he's like carrying me out because I couldn't walk. Because that was what I lost in my third surgery, is being able to walk when I wanted to. I struggled with it because the whole time, the month that I was there at the hospital, I just wanted to get home to my comfort zone, my comfort bed, my comfort pillow. Because you've been away from it for so long, I just wanted to get home. And it was all taken away from me. Only 2 weeks later, I had nothing. I didn't have underwear, I didn't have diapers for Isaac, I didn't have clothing, I didn't have anything, and I couldn't even go get it because I couldn't even walk into a store. I couldn't even, it was too much stimulation for me. I couldn't even go to a store at all. Not even if somebody took me. And so I was just stuck in this little hotel room. I couldn't even go down the hallway because the stimulation was just excruciating. There was like the wallpaper, the stripes, the lines of flowers, checkered on the floor. And I have to rely on everyone to bring me things, the necessities of life. I think it's about 2.5 months in the hotel. During that time, I had to come to the conclusion, I had to realize that you just have to look for the good things in life, and it's not a certain place or a certain thing or a certain, timing in life that, oh, I'm going to be happier then, it doesn't matter. So my refiner's fire, that I call it, taught me that it doesn't matter where we're at or what we have in life, that we can still be happy, and we decide it. That was brain surgery number 3.